There's a reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind. Photo of Brittney Griner with a full beard after being released from a Russian prison.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
Brittney Griner files for divorce from wife.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Every player should be subjected to a DNA test to prove that they're women.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Welcome back to the Clark Update. Today, we're looking at one of the most controversial conversations surrounding the WNBA, the debate over player eligibility, fan expression, and comments made by media personality Benny Johnson. This story has become much bigger than a single game or a single player. It touches on questions about competitive fairness, women's sports, free expression, and how professional leagues should respond when fans and athletes demand clearer policies. Sophie Cunningham has become one of the most outspoken figures in this discussion. Her comments about protecting women's sports and maintaining fair competition have attracted strong support.
This is, again, cultural power. This is why the WNBA this is not going to go away. This issue is not going to go away. They're in such a bad position here. Caitlin Clark, they have cultural power. People love them. People are buying tickets that would never care about the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
These women spent $1,000 on tickets to attend the Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game, specifically to see Sophie Cunningham.
From some WNBA fans, while also drawing criticism from others. Whatever your position, Cunningham's willingness to speak publicly has helped push an important ratings.
A woman decided to stand up for women and female spaces. And that woman is now getting lambasted by other women because she doesn't support transgender people in female spaces. Sophie Cunningham, who many of you will probably know from this video, recently got herself in hot water because she had the audacity to say that women and girls should be protected.
Conversation into the national spotlight. At the same time, Caitlin Clark continues to be one of the biggest forces driving attention toward women's basketball. Her combination of shooting range, passing ability, competitiveness, and popularity has brought millions of new viewers to the sport.
The reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark.
WNBA star Sophie Cunningham, who plays guard for the Indiana Fever, when an ESPN feature quoted her opposition towards biological men competing in women's sports. She said she wanted to protect young girls, both on court as well as in the locker room, calling her position kind of common sense. It has everything to do.
Attendance, television audiences, merchandise sales, and overall public interest have all benefited from the enormous attention surrounding Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Women's league, run by women, decided a shirt wearing saying "for the girls" was too offensive. Meanwhile, State Farm Arena put up a pro-trans message on the big screen, but won't allow the shirt the state's basic biological. What is so offensive or scary about this message? The genetic message of gender, the genetic message of biological sex. Wow, the WNBA doesn't know what a woman is. The shirts that reference the XX chromosomes are banned from games.
That growing spotlight also means every controversy involving the league receives much more attention than it might have in the past. One incident that received significant online discussion involved fans at a Fever game who reportedly wore shirts expressing support for women's sports. According to reports and online reactions, some fans were asked by Arena
Griner's voice.
I believe what you said was effing white girl. Is it possible that's what you said?
No, you would never say that.
Brittney Griner called Caitlin Clark trash and effing white girl. Trash, effing white girl.
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash, expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yeah, it's trash, white girl.
Personnel to cover or remove the shirts. The situation quickly spread across social media, where supporters argued that fans should be able to express their views peacefully. The WNBA and Atlanta Dream subsequently addressed concerns surrounding the handling of the situation, emphasizing that fans should not be improperly restricted because of their opinions. The episode raised a broad...
Yes, they gave us t-shirts during overtime and told us we had to leave.
And this is for the girl.
Or cover our shirts. This just happened.
Where were you sitting?
Floor
4-3, bro.
C.
Yeah.
Third row of floor 3.
And how much were your seats?
$1,000 each around.
Yeah. And we did nothing. Like we were just sitting there. I didn't make signs.
Question. Where should professional sports organizations draw the line between legitimate security policies and viewpoint-based restrictions? That question became even more controversial after Benny Johnson and other commentators criticized what they viewed as inconsistent treatment of different political or cultural messages inside professional sports. But there is another part of this debate that deserves careful attention: eligibility rules. The WNBA, like other professional
NBA, of course, doesn't want to make anything political. Here they are welcoming the Honorable Stacey Abrams. The Honorable Stacey Abrams. Well, what has she done that's honorable? What's dishonorable is that at that same game, a mother wore a XXXY Athletics for the girls with her daughter apparel. This is a brand that, of course, is defending women in women's sports, and she got kicked out of the game. And you can see there somebody a fan flipping them off, whether this is a board member, potentially. Look at this. Whether that's a board member of the WNBA, but she doesn't know what a woman is, right? Like, what are these
sports organizations has rules governing who is eligible to compete. Supporters of stricter biological standards argue that the league should establish clear, objective policies that protect competitive fairness and the integrity of women's basketball. Critics, however, argue that the discussion can become dangerous when it relies on speculation about individual athletes rather than verified information. That distinction is extremely important. Online rumors and
so why is the WNBA unable to define what a woman is? We all know what a woman is. XX chromosome. Y chromosome, you're a man. And you can't change your chromosome. You can get plastic surgery. You can lop off body parts. You can put on lipstick. You can put on wigs, but you can't change that. And so why not just define it based on gender assigned at birth? You're born with these sex organs, you're born with these chromosomes, so that's what makes you a woman. The WNBA has spent 6 days trying to figure out what the W in the WNBA stands for, and they still don't have anything.
Social media speculation about particular players should not be treated as established facts without credible evidence. Claims involving an athlete's sex, medical history, or eligibility can have serious personal consequences. Debate over league policy is legitimate. Targeting individual players based on unverified allegations is a very different matter. The controversy also highlights the challenge facing WNBA leadership. The league is growing rapidly, and with that growth comes increased scrutiny. Fans expect transparent rules, consistent enforcement, and clear explanations when controversial incidents occur. If the league believes its eligibility standards are sufficient, it should explain those.
The reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind. Photo of Brittney Griner, a full beard after being released from a Russian prison.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
Brittney Griner files for divorce from wife.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Every player should be subjected to a DNA test to prove that they're women.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Standards clearly. If officials believe the rules need to change, they should conduct that process openly and establish requirements that are consistent, medically appropriate, and fairly applied. The same principle should apply to fan conduct. A professional basketball arena should be a place where people can support their teams and express lawful opinions without intimidation. At the same time, legitimate safety and conduct rules should apply consistently to everyone, regardless of political viewpoint. This is where the larger discussion surrounding Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham becomes important. The WNBA has an opportunity to address these controversies without allowing them to overshadow the basketball itself. Clark's rise has demonstrated the extraordinary potential of women's professional basketball. Cunningham and other players have shown that athletes can influence conversations far beyond the court. But the league's future cannot depend on avoiding difficult subjects. Fans want to know that competition is fair. Players want to know that policies are consistent. And league officials.
The Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Need to demonstrate that controversial decisions are based on transparent standards rather than political pressure. As for Benny Johnson's remarks, viewers should evaluate them carefully, just as they should evaluate statements from league officials, athletes, commentators, and social media personalities. Strong opinions can bring attention to important issues, but attention alone does not make every claim accurate. Ultimately, the most productive solution is transparency. The WNBA should clearly communicate its eligibility policies, explain how those policies are enforced, and ensure that any future changes are based on evidence and applied consistently. At the same time, fans should be encouraged to debate these issues without turning unverified claims about individual athletes into accepted facts. Women's basketball is experiencing unprecedented attention. That creates a tremendous opportunity, but it also creates a responsibility for everyone involved. So what do you think? Should the WNBA provide clearer eligibility standards? Should fan expression policies be reviewed to ensure consistent enforcement? And do you believe league leadership has done enough to explain its position? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to the Clark Update for more coverage of the biggest stories shaping women's basketball. Welcome back to the Clark Update, where we focus on fact-based WNBA analysis and the biggest stories shaping women's basketball. If you enjoy this kind of coverage, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And that brings us to the bigger question: where does the WNBA go from here? What began as a debate surrounding Sophie Cunningham and her outspoken views has developed into a much broader conversation about women's basketball, league policies, fan expression, and the responsibility of professional sports organizations when controversial issues become national headlines. Whether you agree with Cunningham or strongly disagree with her, one thing is undeniable: people are paying attention. Fans who may not have followed the WNBA closely in the past are now watching games, buying tickets, discussing league policies, and debating the issues surrounding some of its biggest stars. That increased attention is valuable for the league, but it also comes with greater responsibility. When controversy reaches millions of people, fans naturally want answers. They want to know what the rules are, why those rules exist, and whether they are being applied consistently. At the same time, players deserve an environment where they can compete without being reduced to internet rumors, viral posts, or personal attacks. That distinction is especially important when discussing Brittney Griner. There has been a significant amount of speculation about Griner across social media and online commentary. But speculation is not evidence. Edited images, viral posts, anonymous claims, and repeated statements online do not automatically make an allegation true. Whatever someone's position on WNBA policies may be, the strongest argument is one based on verifiable information, official league rules, and credible reporting. Individual athletes should not be treated as proof of a broader claim simply because an allegation becomes popular online. That is a standard everyone should be willing to follow. The WNBA is also operating during a remarkable period of growth. Caitlin Clark has become one of the most recognizable players in women's basketball, attracting enormous attention with her long-range shooting, court vision, competitiveness, and ability to connect with a new generation of fans. Her popularity has amplified everything around the league. Games involving Clark receive intense attention. Statements from players can quickly become headlines. Controversies that might once have remained within basketball circles can now spread across social media within hours. That creates both an opportunity and a challenge for league leadership. Instead of allowing confusion to define the conversation, the WNBA can provide greater clarity. Officials can explain their existing policies, describe how those policies are enforced, and communicate any future changes in a way that fans and players can understand. The same principle applies to fan conduct. If fans are following normal arena rules, they should have clear expectations about what is permitted and what is not. If a particular message violates a legitimate venue policy, that policy should be applied consistently rather than selectively. Transparency matters because inconsistency can damage trust. At the same time, the league should be careful not to allow legitimate policy debates to turn into personal attacks against athletes. There is a major difference between questioning a regulation and making unsupported claims about an individual player. The focus should remain on evidence, rules, and competitive fairness. And ultimately, this is still about basketball. It is about athletes who have spent years training to reach the professional level. It is about young girls watching these players and imagining themselves competing at the highest level. It is about fans spending their money on tickets and merchandise. And it is about building a professional league capable of handling controversy without losing sight of the sport. The rise of Caitlin Clark, the outspoken presence of Sophie Cunningham, and the growing attention surrounding the WNBA demonstrate how much interest exists in women's basketball. The question now is how the league responds. Will WNBA leadership communicate its policies more clearly? Will officials address concerns about competitive fairness with transparent explanations? Will players and fans continue demanding answers? And can the league use this moment to build greater trust among its audience? Those questions will not disappear simply because the current controversy fades from the headlines. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think the WNBA should communicate its eligibility policies more clearly? Should fans be able to express their opinions inside arenas as long as they follow standard venue rules? And what do you think about the growing attention surrounding Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham? Share your honest opinion in the comments. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for the next major WNBA story. With Clark, Cunningham, and the rest of the league continuing to generate headlines, the next chapter could be even bigger. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, keep the conversation focused on women's basketball. This story is far from over.